I clicked one link and lost everything I had. It looked like a simple email from my bank. Verify your account, it said. I didn't think twice. I clicked. That single click erased everything I'd worked for my entire life. My name is Lucas Hayes. I'm 34 years old, and this is the story of how I lost everything. My money, my home, and nearly my mind, because of one careless mistake. I've always considered myself tech-savvy. I work in IT support for a mid-sized logistics company. I help people reset passwords, remove viruses, and set up their email accounts. I've seen it all, or at least I thought I had. That's why this story is so hard for me to tell. It was a Friday afternoon, and I was working remotely from home, sipping cold coffee that had been sitting on my desk since morning. My email inbox was a mess. Hundreds of unread messages from vendors, co-workers, and random newsletters I'd never unsubscribed from. That's when I saw it. An email from my bank. Immediate action required. Verify your account to prevent lockout. It looked official. The logo was right. The sender's email address seemed legit. security@firsttrustfinance.com. The urgency in the subject line made my pulse quicken. I clicked it without thinking. Inside, there was a simple message saying that due to suspicious activity, my account would be suspended within 24 hours unless I verified my information. There was a button below, Verify Now. Without hesitation, I clicked. It led me to a site that looked exactly like my bank's portal. Same colors, same layout, same login screen. I entered my username and password, then pressed Submit. The page refreshed, but nothing happened. It just stayed blank. I felt a strange chill creep down my spine. Something wasn't right. I quickly opened a new tab and logged into my real banking app. Password incorrect. I tried again. Same result. My heart dropped. I checked my phone. No text alerts, no calls from the bank. But deep inside, I knew. I had just handed my life to a stranger. Panic set in instantly. My hands were trembling as I opened the banking app again, desperately trying different passwords, security questions, anything to get in. Locked out. I called the bank's hotline, my voice already shaking. After 5 minutes on hold that felt like hours, an agent answered. I could barely get the words out. My account, it's been locked. I think I've been hacked. The agent asked for my details. Name, date of birth, address. I gave everything. Then came the words I never wanted to hear. I'm sorry, Mr. Hayes, she said carefully. There have been several large withdrawals from your account today. The last one just happened less than a minute ago. I froze. She continued. It appears your entire checking and savings balances have been transferred to an overseas account. I couldn't speak. She kept talking, trying to explain their fraud protocol, but it all sounded like static. My brain couldn't process what I was hearing. Every dollar I had, gone. That night I didn't sleep. I sat on my couch in the dark, phone in hand, staring at the empty banking app, refreshing it over and over, like it would magically change. I'd saved for years emergency fund, vacation fund, every bit of spare cash tucked away for my future. All gone in an instant. And worse, I knew exactly how it happened. Me, I had done this. I kept hearing my own voice in my head, clicking that link, typing my information, like some idiot rookie who'd never heard of phishing scams. But this wasn't over. I wasn't going to sit there and accept it. The next morning, I went to my local bank branch in person. My eyes were bloodshot from crying and exhaustion. The manager, Thomas Bradley, listened patiently as I explained what happened. He looked like he'd heard this story 1,000 times before. Unfortunately, he said slowly, phishing scams are becoming more advanced. The fact that they transferred the funds internationally complicates things. Can I get my money back? I asked, my voice already cracking. He hesitated. We'll launch an internal investigation and file a report with the authorities. But I have to be honest, recovery rates for cases like this are extremely low. I felt like the floor had fallen out beneath me. I walked out of that bank with nothing but a folder of paperwork and a sinking feeling in my chest. For weeks, I spiraled. Credit cards maxed out, bills unpaid. I even got an eviction notice on my apartment door. But then, something strange happened. One night around 2 a.m., I got an email. Subject line, "I know who did this to you." The message was brief. "They scammed me too. I've been tracking them for months. Reply if you want to make them pay." Normally, I would have deleted it, thinking it was another scam, but I had nothing left to lose. I replied. The person on the other end introduced themselves as Elliot Parker. Elliot claimed he lost over $200,000 to the same phishing ring that had targeted me. He sent screenshots of their emails, fake websites, wire transfer receipts, all nearly identical to my own case. But here's where it got even more bizarre. Elliot said he had tracked them. They operate out of Eastern Europe, he explained, but their money laundering operations are based right here. In New Jersey, he wasn't just guessing either. He sent me photos, blurry surveillance shots of men entering a high-rise office building in Jersey City. One of the men in the photo looked eerily familiar. It was Thomas Bradley, my bank manager. I thought I was hallucinating. There was no way. It had to be some lookalike. But Elliot insisted he's in on it, he said. That's how they knew exactly when to strike. I didn't want to believe it, but the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. Thomas had seemed too calm, too rehearsed. I remembered how quick he was to say the money was likely gone forever. I needed to see for myself. I booked a cheap motel in Jersey City the next day. I followed Elliot's instructions, waiting outside the office building with a disposable phone and a notepad. Hours passed, and I saw him, Thomas Bradley. The same suit, same face, same cold, professional demeanor. He walked right into that building like it was nothing. I followed. Inside, I found a directory board. The floor he entered was listed under a shell company name, Arden Solutions, LLC. Elliot texted me, "That's their front. Get upstairs and get evidence." I took the elevator to the 9th floor, my heart pounding with every floor that passed. The hallway was empty, except for one door at the end with tinted glass. I stood there frozen, listening through the door. Voices inside, laughter, the sound of phones ringing. I pushed the door open just an inch, enough to see. Inside was a fully functioning call center. Dozens of people sitting at desks, making calls, typing on computers. And there, at the head of it all, was Thomas Bradley. Running the operation, I pulled out my phone and started recording everything. Faces, names on desks, phone numbers on whiteboards, scripts on computer screens. I stayed there, filming for as long as I could before someone noticed. I turned and ran. I don't remember how I made it back to the motel. I was shaking too much to think straight. I sent everything to Elliot. He responded immediately, "You did it. We've got them." Elliot had connections, real ones. He forwarded our evidence to a federal task force that specialized in cybercrime. Within 48 hours, the entire operation was raided. News outlets reported on it for weeks. Massive phishing ring busted in New Jersey. Thomas Bradley and dozens of others were arrested and charged with fraud, identity theft, wire fraud, and money laundering. It turned out they'd been running scams for nearly a decade, stealing millions from unsuspecting victims worldwide. As for me, the authorities recovered a portion of the stolen funds and returned just enough for me to start over. I left my old job, my old city, my old life behind now. I work for an anti-scam foundation, helping others avoid the trap that nearly destroyed me. And sometimes, late at night, I still think about that one email, the one that seemed so harmless. And I wonder, how many others are just one click away from losing everything too?